Senator John Thune joins us now. We are going to talk about some other issues, Senator Thune, but if you don't mind, we want to start with the situation breaking in Chattanooga. Your thoughts as we wade into this situation. We still don't know details, although, as I said, the Chattanooga mayor, Andy Burke, has said it was a horrific situation. So clearly he has some pretty awful details. Yeah, and our thoughts and prayers go out, David, to the people in Chattanooga. Obviously, as more details emerge, we'll learn more about this. We hope they can apprehend this gunman as quickly as possible, and you hope and pray for the best for the people there. And again, I apologize for you didn't know this was coming, but that's the nature of breaking news. We wanted to talk to you about a report on Obamacare, very disturbing report. The GAO, the Government Accountability Office, which is nonpartisan, it's a well-respected, independent agency, has looked into the issue of fraud in Obamacare and finding some very frightening stats. Go ahead and explain what they found. Right. Well, we had the person who conducted the study this morning at the GAO come in front of the Senate Finance Committee, David, and basically reported that in 12 circumstances in which they tried to get enrolled in Obamacare and get the subsidies that come with that, in 11 of those 12 cases they succeeded, and which is really, really disturbing. Wait a minute, that's a failure rate. Forgive my quick calculation. That's a failure rate of about 92%, correct? It is. That is correct. That is a very disturbing thing. And in questions of him about what front-end controls or back-end controls, how do they authenticate that these people who come in are real people because they use fake Social Security numbers, fake income statements, all those sorts of things to get by the screen, and it just obviously they succeeded. And then they tried re-enrolling later. Some of them initially there was some filter that kicked them out, but they re-enrolled. They got enrolled a second time. So clearly this isn't working. It's another example of Obamacare's not only ongoing but new failures, which seem to be, these revelations come out, it seems like, on almost a daily basis. Well, there is an answer, Senator, and you and I know what it is. The only way to reduce fraud, whether it's Obamacare, Medicare, whatever, is to put the individual more in charge of his own bill. When you're in charge of looking at your bill and accounting for it, you better believe you're going to note every extra charge is on there, whereas if you hand it to the insurance companies or the government or some third party, you're not. We're going in the opposite direction of putting the individual more in charge, are we not? We are, and you know, one of the things that we saw in our state of South Dakota, the Blues, which cover about 70% of the individual market out there, announced that they were going to have to increase their rates by 43% this year. And the reason they attributed it to was in Obamacare, people can enroll, use high-cost health care, and then drop the coverage entirely. And they said the utilization rate was about triple what they had anticipated. But to your point, yes, when somebody else is paying the bill, people game that system, and that's what's happened here. And there was a report that came out in June in Office of Inspector General at the Department of Health and Human Services that said last year there were about $3 billion in payments that went out that they couldn't account for. They don't know if they were legitimate or not. So there's just a lot of information coming out that there aren't the safeguards, there aren't the checks in place to ensure that taxpayer dollars are being used wisely and well, and that's got to change because this is unacceptable, and the American taxpayer deserves better. By the way, also unacceptable is the FCC's designation of the internet as a new kind of entitlement that everybody should have for free, and we wanted to talk to you about that, but we'll have you back on to talk about it because I know you're right in the center of that fight as well. Senator John Thune, good to see you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Appreciate David. It.